Hello.
Hello.
And that was a preview of Princess Anne and me on our Blue Peter Royal Safari.
The Princess Royal has spent 50 years bringing the spotlight to the vast array of charities she represents. It all began in 1970 when she became president of Save the Children.
I don't know why they asked me, because patently, as a 19-year-old who'd done very little, that was quite an interesting risk.
The princess gets this wonderful new role. Royal events. Before that, she'd maybe been, with some mother and father, or maybe with Prince Charles. This time it was, it was her film.
Do you like flying?
Well, I wouldn't consider it one of my favourite forms of transport.
Probably that first interview was a little bit awkward because it was the first time she was doing it. It was the first time I was doing it. Once we got into Kenya, it became much more relaxed. Oh. She was very natural. She was very easy with the children. I think she was enjoying the film, being there and being, let's face it, she was the centre of attention. But she absolutely knew all about the Save the Children Fund. And she absolutely wasn't going to make any mistakes. She'd done her homework.
She was in charge of Save the Children when I was a kid, as far as I can remember. I said, who is this person who wants to save me and all other children?
At the charity's London headquarters, they're awaiting her arrival. 50 years after she joined them, Her Royal Highness is still on the headed note paper and on the board.
I suppose it took me about 10 years to work out just how Save the Children functioned. So I didn't say much for about 10 years. It was a good organisation to learn from, because if you've got children involved, it's about health, it's about education. It links to all sorts of other things.
The Princess has a really inquisitive mind and a huge knowledge across the workings of all her charities.
The great advantage of having the Princess Royal sitting at your boardroom table is that when you have somebody of that bandwidth of experience, it allows you to make much better and informed decisions.
The Princess delivers experience and exposure to more than 300 charities and patronages. It was the reason that in 1987, the Queen made her Princess Royal.
One of the things my father said was, you'll be offered a whole lot of things. And the big mistake that was made in the past was just accepting anything that anybody asked you to do. And he said, just be a bit careful and find something that either you're interested in or you think you might be able to have an impact. And for me, that was the Riding for the Disabled Association. No knowledge of disabilities, but some knowledge of ponies.
In June, the charity holds a weekend of competitions and displays. It's a fixture in the Princess's diary.
Her Royal Highness has been involved with Riding for the Disabled for 50 years. The fact that she's a horsewoman makes it much more authentic. She's incredibly inspirational.
Afternoon? Yeah, this is my horse, Seren.
Have you not competed yet?
Not yet.
Well, horses are used as a great therapy in lots of organisations, and the Princess knows very much the therapeutic use of riding to help both physical disabilities and mental.
The organisation has provided support for 17-year-old show jumper Evie Toombs. She hasn't let the complications of spina bifida dent her Paralympic ambitions.
It's a wonderful association and it helps in so many ways. Daisy recognises that my legs don't work very well and I'm not very strong. She knows when I'm a bit weak and she can kind of look after me that bit more. She's very special to me. Horses, they make the world go round, at least for everyone here.
I actually had to ask my sister, what is the correct way to address the princess?
Oh yeah, it's really good. What is the correct way? Because I was going to say Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal. Or...
This is Evie Toombs. Nice to meet you. She rides with Lincolnshire Wolds RDA. She's an amazing show jumper. You competed this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I do a lot of riding and I also visit primary schools to educate on hidden illnesses and kind of spread the love for riding.
So when did you start riding yourself? How old were you?
I was about 4 years old to my mum rides, so I'm really lucky in that aspect, and got pushed. Even my neurosurgeon, when I had neurosurgery, said to get on a horse, so that was doctor's orders.
Yeah.
I expected the horse to be a bit like up here and posh and all that, but she was nice. She's so relaxed though. It makes it
She's
so
easy.
enjoyable, doesn't it? Because she's so relaxed, she's not bothered.
And she laughs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really important.
She invests a huge amount of time in all sorts of charities around this country and sticks up for the smallest and most obscure charities you could imagine.
The small organisations who find it more difficult. I think raising their profile is no bad thing.
Hearing Dogs for Deaf People is a small charity with a big profile, partly thanks to the Princess's patronage.
Hearing Dogs came through a chap I met years ago who blinded in the war, was very much part of my father's life. He was one of those people who said, no, he said, I'd rather be blind because if I couldn't hear, I couldn't be part of this conversation. And suddenly you become aware of the fact that this is an isolation by being deaf. And the dogs helped people get over that.
The charity trains the puppies and the deaf people they'll live with. The Princess has been patron since 1992.
Hello, darlings. Hello.
Michelle Jennings is the organisation's new chief executive. She's still getting used to the hands-on royals.
She does far more than I ever expected a royal patron to do. The temperament is crucially important. So we breed about 75% of our own dogs. She's incredibly engaged in how we're bringing up these animals, how we're training them. It's very complex what we do. The whole working life of the dog is around £45,000. It's a very, very costly endeavour, but it changes lives.
People who go and visit and see, they're the ones who are doing the research, the development, and the work on the ground, and being the volunteers who make the difference. Not me, but you can sometimes help other people make an even bigger impact than I'm already doing.
The team work around the clock to train dogs like Scamp, who's become the ears of 15-year-old Amelia Price-Moxon.
May I introduce Amelia?
Hello.
With her hearing dog, Scamp.
Bonjour. So what have you found has been helpful about Scamp?
He made me feel more confident.
Do you go out more?
Yeah, with him.
On buses and trains and things like that, and he's good at that?
Yeah.
Very good. That's crucial.
Yes, because Amelia can't really hear behind her, or so safety aspect. Scamp's been a lifesaver for you, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Very good.
And he does school assemblies as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Likes to those, does it? What about in the house?
Yeah, and he helps me sleep better, so I know he's there with me.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't sleep on the bed, does he?
Yeah, but at the end.
Okay.
She's been supporting a lot of these organisations for many, many years.
She's invested in all those things now. That's why I think everything that she's involved in has done so well. If you've got that much knowledge and association with something, you put your passion into it.
Certainly as she's got older, she's tried to cut down, although she clearly hasn't.
As the Princess enters her 8th decade, cutting down is not on the agenda.
Personal discovery.